somehow hides her feelings in Russian, episode 11. So, we open this episode with a flashback, and it's a flashback to Kuze and Kuze's mom. We finally get some context on their interaction as people. And what we see a lot is Kuze doing a lot of good things, doing a lot of practicing, doing a lot of grades. And in the beginning, his mom definitely praises him. His mom definitely gives him it's like, oh, good job, I'm proud of you, you're good. And then we get another piece of information where we see Kuze performing the piano, he's at a piano recital, and his mom is in the crowd. But his mom comes off pretty sad looking. Definitely sad, definitely really oh man, still haven't sorted out. I haven't sorted out the title? No, I did. Hold on. No. Don't do that to me. I did sort out the title. Is that not how you spell Russian? Is that not how you spell? Oh my, No, you're right. I didn't see I didn't realize I misspelled Alya. I thought I fixed all my mistakes. Okay, you know what? Can I do that now? I'm just gonna do that now. Hold on. I thought I got that. I swear I thought I had it, but I guess I didn't. There. The title is fixed. All the titles are fixed now. I thought I fixed the titles. I thought I had the titles fixed, but it's fine. We have all the titles. All the titles are fixed now. All the titles are fixed now, and they're good. They're fine. Do that now. Hold on. Oh god. That has me fucking panicked. Oh my god, I'm sitting there just being like, what titles are you talking about? What titles are you looking at? But yeah, okay, where was I? Oh yeah, the flashbacks. Yes, Kuze is at a piano recital. And then we see that Kuze, what is it? What is he talking about? What am I talking about? Oh, Kuze's mom, sorry. Kuze's mom looks sad. She looks disheveled. She looks a bit I don't know if I'd call it worried or sad. It definitely does not look great. But Kuze in his mind was just everyone is, and it's such a compelling scene, right? Because everyone around him is cheering, they're applauding, they're like, oh, this boy is super talented. And it's just his mom. He's only focused on his mom. He's focused dead set, and all he cares about is what his mom thinks. Which obviously when you're a kid, you care about what your parents think. That's not a weird thing. It's just but it's definitely super hyper focused. He's blocking almost everything else out. But in his mind, he's oh, mom didn't like the performance. Okay, I think I need to try a bit more for mom. I need to put in a bit more effort. I need to put in a bit more work. And that was his thought, which I can respect, right? I would be okay, I get it. Maybe there's something there, but I'm definitely getting when I saw that, I was sort of getting the vibe from the Your Light in April mom, who was damn near beating the fucking MC. And then we get the scene where Kuze is playing on the piano, and he's trying to go off. He's trying to go off. He's trying to do all this stuff, and his mom just tells him to just stop. Just stop and just shut up. She gets mad, visibly mad, and I'm just whoa. That's intense. What the fuck? Now, unfortunately, we do not get much more information from this, unfortunately, because they show us this, but we do not address them seeing each other, or them seeing each other during that whole parent-teacher conference thing, or the flashbacks, as the episode pivots to Kuze being sick and Alya coming over to help him. But I want to kind of touch on the Kuze mom thing, because the theory that I wrote down while having this was Kuze's mom was harsh on him because she was jealous of her son being able to do the things that she was never able to do. And it's kind of similar to the Your Lion April thing, but instead of the instead of the mom being sick and not being able to do it, I think it has a lot to do with the grandfather, right? And how Alya interacts with I guess it would be her father at that point, where obviously we've seen it a bit with the grandfather and Yuki, right? Where Yuki is obviously an above average person, right? But the grandfather has acknowledged time and time again that Yuki is not on the same level as Kuze. But she does still want Yuki to do well, because obviously Yuki has at the very least met the grandfather's standards to some extent, because the grandfather seems to appreciate and like Yuki, which I think also leads into that whole thing where we get this scene of like Kuze and Alya and Yuki in bed, or in what I assume is Yuki's bedroom, and what I think like kind of now what's been happening in that background of this stuff is, I think obviously Kuze left because like they were pushing the boy so hard, and when the divorce happened, I think the divorce happened because of like the grandfather standards, and I don't think the husband at the time couldn't take it, so he left. Kuze left with his father because I feel like he knew he was gonna have like still sort of like a better life, right? Because it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna have to sit there and do all this fucking shit and be ridiculed for like not being perfect. But I think Yuki kind of understood that if I feel like Yuki did want to go with Kuze, right? Because for the same reason. But I also think she understood as well that if both of them leave, the ire's kind of gonna be put on the mother for being kind of a failure, for not being able to keep up for the kids. So my feeling is that Yuki stayed for her mom for the reason of, yeah, someone needs to stay, so like I'm gonna protect mother in the sense of doing that, right? I love them. I love the whole mystery and all that behind it. I'm such a nerd for this type of shit, man. This shit is fucking great. It's fucking beautiful, and I fucking love it. But we don't touch on the rest of that anymore because it pivots to, like I said, Kuze being sick and Alya coming over to try to help Kuze. Apparently, this was this was not a request. Oh no, sort of, kind of. So spoiler. This was the request by Yuki for Alya to go see Kuze and make sure to take care of her. Alya says that like she's like kind of lying, sort of, but it was technically a request from Yuki. And so he goes. So like we get a cute scene of like, you know, Alya cooking for Kuze, cooking porridge, seeing them being sweet. Like it's wholesome. Like it's nothing like super weird or anything either. Like they're not even like the rom-com shenanigans, right? Like it's just genuinely like a super cute interaction of someone taking care of her. She even goes as far as that like she's like staying for like a pretty long time, and like it's to the point where like Kuze ends up like, you know, he's relaxed, he's full, and then he ends up going to sleep, and then he wakes up like a while later, and as he wakes up he sees that Alya is not alone. Alya is now in the house with Ayano, who Ayano also got a request from Yuki to go ahead and take care of her. Now this obviously now it gets kind of a bit weird, right? Because now we get like Alya has been requested by Yuki to go, but now Ayano has now gotten a request from Yuki to go, and so like it's a bit weird. But eventually, Ayano I think convinces Alya to leave. And, you know, because of just other stuff. So she ends up leaving, a bit upset, obviously, because she's like, oh, I wanted to take care of my boy Tori. But at that point, nothing too conspicuous just happens. No, that's not true. That's not true, actually. Ayano actually brings up the fact, she's like, besides, like, it's like, oh, I can take care of him from here. Besides, shouldn't you get some sleep for tomorrow? And then she's like, tomorrow? Kyuza's like, tomorrow? And Alya doesn't kind of bring it up, and it's just like, oh yeah, whatever. No, it's fine. Doesn't like really bring it up. It's like, okay, as long as you know what you're doing. And so, same thing happens, right? Ayano's making her dinner. Kuze is like, oh yeah, it's so good. And then he's like, damn, that was so good. I need to sleep again. And so he sleeps for the rest of the day, sleeps pretty late, and then he wakes up. I think he wakes up like midday, just because it seems like it's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling better, all that stuff. And so he's kind of noticing something, a pattern. He's like, every time I eat some food for somebody, I go to sleep. And this medicine that I'm also taking is kind of suspicious. And so I wouldn't say hardball, because he doesn't really. He's just like a tad bit stern with Ayano, but she breaks obviously because she's obviously appreciates Kuze to an extent. And so Kuze, I don't know if he's still sick at this point, but Kuze ends up going to the school, like after, like the school, like not after hours, but school is out by this point, but he still goes, and he sits down, and he goes to his classroom where he sees Alya sitting at the table, saying like, oh, I messed it all up, I made a big mistake. What we get the realization now is that Yuki requested Alya to come on to like a school broadcast with her tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, whatever the fuck, to actually like discuss like I guess their campaign and just school stuff and what happened, right? Yuki kind of eggs on Alya, being like, oh yeah, you could come in and you could talk about the Student Congress stuff. And Alya's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about the Student Congress stuff because, you know, I'd rather just leave that in the past. I don't want to bring it up. And then Yuki kind of calls her out. She's like, so what you're saying is you don't want to call that out and you'd rather just kind of be a bitch. Because Yuki in a sense does have a point. This is where like we get like manipulator Yuki. This is where we get like malicious Yuki. Where Yuki brings up, it's like, you won the Student Congress. Regardless a lot of how you view it, your platform won. So why not ride that victory to get yourself more points to try to push ahead of me? And then Yuki even goes, she's like, you think I'm a joke? You think you don't need it? You think that like, you know, you think that you're better than that? Then you're above that? Like you shouldn't take me lightly, little girl. I'm way more of a powerhouse than you think, and I will chew you alive if you don't take this shit seriously. And Alya's kind of sitting there. She's like, oh, I am. I just don't want to win that way, and I'm going to beat you fair and square. I'm not going to do it off the back of someone's sorrow. I'm going to do it by my own merit, and me and Kuze are going to take you down. And so it seems like there's like a bit of a light lit up Alya. And again, I say this before. I say this later in the notes, but I'm just going to put this in right now. Yes, Alya has her stage fright. She has like her anxiety and her insecurities, but like if you fire a light under Alya, we have seen this time and time again, like how she was when in childhood, where she's like, well, no one's going to step up, I'm going to step up. No one's going to want to do this, I'm going to do this. No one wants to have my ideology, I'm going to push my ideology. Like, she will go off. Oh shit, I didn't notice this. That fucking name, 69 Backshot King, thank you for the follow. Jesus Lord, that name. Oh my god, that name. It's a beautiful name. But yeah, 69 Backshot King. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But we get, yeah, Alya will have a fire under her. Super big. Super strong. She'll be like, she's a strong ass person. She will be a strong ass person, right? She will sit there and she will have a fire under her and she will do what she wants. But Yuki also knows this, right? And her biggest thing is her heart. Alya does have a sweet heart. She's known as the Ice Queen, but when you get down to know her, she can have kind of a sweet heart for people. So this is where Yuki gets a bit interesting. This is where Yuki gets a bit manipulative. Where the next day, while they're in the broadcast room, right before they go live, Yuki actually apologizes. She goes off, she's like, hey, I just want to say I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to go that hard. I didn't mean to go that, like, I didn't mean to, like, be rude or anything. I just want you to know that, like, I just have a lot riding on, like, this election and my whole just school career and just kind of my life in general. Where she's like, I had an older brother. Yuki actually drops this, and it's fucking insane. I'm gonna have to go back to work. I'll watch the lady, see your brother. Rach, thank you for joining for a little bit, even if you can, man. I appreciate you a lot. Appreciate you a lot, my brother, and I hope you have a good day at work. But Yuki does a thing where she kind of drops a hint. She's like, oh yeah, I have to do this. I have to power through. Because I have an older brother. I have an older brother who's no longer with me. She uses the phrase, no longer with me. Not implying that he's dead, but when people say that, you can usually assume they have unalived, right? You can assume they have not unalived themselves, but in general, they are just unalive. But Yuki uses this, and she's just like, I'm fighting to like kind of to like live up to his legacy, to live up to his skills, because he's far more talented than I am, and I'm nowhere near that, but I gotta try my hardest to. And so Yuki uses her kindness to kind of stump Alya, because we've seen it before with the Student Congress. She's not one to take advantage of someone's sorrow. Just like the whole thing with Taniyama, she didn't want to go ahead and gloat about the victory. She wanted to make sure that Taniyama's reputation wasn't destroyed, because she knows how it feels like, and she didn't want that. And so she's thinking about Yuki about that way. And also, Yuki's not giving her time to process anything, as they do this right before she goes live. So she seems frazzled, distraught, confused, conflicted. Yuki, I know people latch onto the weird thing about Yuki of her being like a weird, like, otaku neat, and her being like super open to thought, and her having like I wouldn't say it's like, you can argue it's an actual brother complex, but she definitely is a bit weird with her brother. But let's not forget the fact that Yuki is super smart. Yuki is super amazing. Yuki is actually a very smart individual who knows how to play the emotional game of a person, and she does it fucking flawlessly. Interesting to see someone talking about Alya. The light novel is pretty slow paced at the moment. I feel like they drag it out a lot. At this point, there are probably going to be at least 2 or 3 seasons. I'm very interesting to see that and how it is. I think maybe it's different from the light novels, right? Maybe the light novels is a bit different from the anime, but I actually find the anime overall to be like pretty well paced right now, because like everything seems to. I have not been bored. I will say this: not once with Alya have I actually been bored whatsoever. It has been entertaining. It has been nice. It has been like compelling, and every single episode has been interesting to like some degree, whether you talk about like the romance and the nuance between their romance, or like Alya's history with like her family and like her insecurities, or Kuze with his insecurities, or Kuze with his family and other stuff. Even some of the side characters have been super cool, where we get like how like the president is like a really good example of like what Alya could be of getting over that insecurity, or Masha and like the potential of like what is she about and like all that. It's rare to find someone discussing in depth about certain animes. I wish my homies were like this. I love this discussing. And goddamn, you got a huge delay. Do I have a huge delay? I'm sorry. My shit has been so all over the place recently. This is the best that I could do, honestly, because my stream was far worse earlier. Alya is definitely a show that has impressed me every single episode, just with how well and how good it is and how the character is. I love fucking so much about it. Where was I with the discussion? And also, yeah, I try to do this every week, discussing anime. So anytime you want to join in, man, I'm more than happy to have you. Oh yeah, you followed. Hey, I didn't see that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know why alerts aren't happening. I need to fix that at some point. Because the alerts that's frustrating to me. But what was I going off? Where was I? Oh yeah, explaining with that. So yeah, no, I feel like we're really similar to each other. You got a Discord? Yes, I do. Let me actually pull that up real quick. Damn, where was I with Alya though? Oh yeah, Yuki is a brilliant mind, because she knows. She's basically been paying attention to how Alya. There's no way she hasn't, right? She's been basically paying attention to how Alya is and how like her actions were, and like the smartest thing that she probably does is pulling her away from Kuze, because she did it obviously when she found out Kuze was sick. She used sleepy medicine for Kuze to get her away for enough time, so that like, you know, she did it, which is also interesting as well, because Kuze comes to the school. Alya explains all this to him, and he kind of sits down and he's just like, no, she didn't necessarily do this to ruin your reputation now, but she definitely did this. She definitely did this to like start laying the groundwork, because I think what Yuki obviously is trying to do is just stack on little things that stack on little things to basically not hinder, but to make Alya more wavering, more nervous, basically build that doubt in her mind and build those insecurity in her mind to the point where I don't even think Kuze could really help her, but Kuze has his own plan. And something that I really liked as well with this scene is that I think everything that we've seen right now hasn't really been old Kuze, right? The Kuze that has been hinted back in the day by Yuki and Taniyama and his grandfather and other people who knew him back in student council in middle school. But I think we see a tiny glimpse of that, because they do a thing where like they only show the bottom half of his face with a smile, and he's doing the cool pose thing where he has like a wicked smile, and it's very similar to some of the smiles that Yuki has had in like the past as she's being manipulative. So I think the old mind is like slowly talking and slowly starting to crawl back. So I'm really loving that. Yes, and Yuki herself knows what Kuze is capable of. He would most likely have carried Alya. Oh yeah, if she never did any of this, I think she understands that Kuze, along with Alya, could have actually beaten Yuki. I just think that, so I think that's why she's at least trying to make it more difficult, not on Kuze's side, because I think Yuki understands that she cannot take out Kuze, right? She's even acknowledged that Kuze is a far more just a better person, mentally talented overall than Yuki. But Alya is definitely not on that level of Yuki, or if she is, she has a lot of things that are holding her back from reaching that level. So Yuki wants to make it at least difficult for Alya to reach that level, so Kuze has to work harder on taking care of her rather than having to like deal with the actual competition and with Yuki. Also, taking on the manipulation that they love each other and stuff like that, but so people don't know that. Alya has some more character development to do. What we're seeing now is building on Alya's confidence. Yuki is sly in a good way, to be honest. No, Yuki is sly in a good way, to be honest. It's not bad. It's not bad where it's like super manipulative or like super horrible. I would not call Yuki an evil person for this. This is definitely just more of the I'm trying to win and survive. And I think the show has at least given us enough context too, where it's not necessarily Yuki just being a piece of shit, right? It's definitely Yuki being more of like, I have to do this because if I don't, I'm gonna get shit from my family and I have no idea what that's going to be. So that's why I kind of love Yuki for that, because it's one of those typical, I wouldn't call her a villain, but she definitely is an antagonist. It's one of those antagonist things where like they're not just doing it just for the fuck of it. They're doing it, but they have like a justifiable reason. It's a relatable villain. It's a relatable antagonist, and that's kind of really the good ones that you want. What are your thoughts on Yuki being a weird sibling? If it was just Yuki being a weird sibling, I think I could be okay with that. But I think what the show has done is actually really good. Where if it was just Yuki being weird, right? I actually was talking to my friend about this, where if it was just Yuki being weird, that definitely would have just been like oh yeah, like Yuki is just, they basically take that like the typical MC archetype and gave it to the sibling, and it's just like, oh well, I'm glad we're seeing women in this role too, but also like, just because it's also a female character doing it doesn't make it special. It just means it's potential more gooning material. But when you add on the layer that like they don't see each other that much outside of school, and they don't have that much interaction, and they probably have lost each other like a lot in terms of it. I do think it's, knowing Yuki, I don't think it's actually her like fawning or like loving over her brother. I think it's her just kind of appreciating that she has a brother and like being like, yeah, we've been through a lot, but our bond's like this. Like, even through everything, even through the bullshit with our grandmother and our family and our mother and our father and the divorce and everything like that, they're very tight-knit. And that's why I appreciate it, because it's a character where it has depth, right? Where it's like, it's not super shallow, where it's like, oh yeah, it's just a little sister who's being weird to her brother. Which, it's anime, there are going to be weird scenes, there are going to be a couple of complicated, like, just weird scenes. It's going to happen. It's kind of, sort of, inevitable, but I do like that. I do like that a lot, and I do like a lot of how it's like, I do like a lot how it's just played out overall, if I'm being honest. Yeah, definitely. I do like the way Kuze joins in with a little fiasco. Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they call them weird and stuff like that, right? But it's not to the point where I'm just like, at first I was like, ooh, this is a problem. But when you get further in and you learn more about the history, that's when you sit there and you're just like, okay, I get what this is more now, and I completely understand. But yeah, real quick, just to wrap up this episode, Alya and Kuze are now conversating like, no, I forget what it was, but they definitely, Kuze's sister is just like, oh yeah, before. Oh no. No. I'm getting my points mixed up. So Kuze and Alya are kind of having a comforting conversation where Alya's like, okay, thank you for explaining it all to me. I appreciate that. Kuze does find out through Alya that Yuki kind of dropped the brother thing. Obviously, Alya doesn't know that's Kuze, but he definitely saying that he's just like, oh shit, Yuki, what the fuck are you doing? But like, Alya's a bit more comforted, and she's feeling a bit more confident, which is actually good. Then we get, I forget what the blonde girl name is, but Taniyama and her friend coming in. And again, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to always say it. I don't like Taniyama, I really don't, because they go in, they're talking, and Taniyama does come and apologize for everything. Alya mentions, like, I just wanted the apology for all the remarks you did, and so as long as you're doing that, we're Gucci. There's no like bad blood between us. And through all this, like, they're kind of like mutual ground, saying, it's kind of my fault too, because I did the plans and I was cheating, so it happens. It's fine. And Kuze was like, actually, if you want, oh no, I forget what it was. Oh no, Taniyama was gonna make it up by like emitting defeat through Alya, and it's like, well, don't fucking do that, because that doesn't benefit us and that doesn't benefit anybody. But there is a way that you could do it, and we don't know yet. But Taniyama also goes off being like, just so you know, I will not endorse you, and also, I still think you should be with Sush-chan. I'm like, oh my god, what is your obsession with these twins? With these siblings? Like, I get it. You like them as a pair, and like, in this situation, unironically, I would have actually way preferred them to lean into the fangirl aspect of this with Taniyama, right? Because at least at then it's like, okay, she's a fangirl, like, and that happens sometimes in these school animes, right? Where there's going to be either a popular girl or a popular boy, and they're going to have fans, and that's fine. But she does it in a way where she's just like, oh, you guys are just like a power couple, and like, fucking, you gave me hope, and I was just like, fuck off for like 5 seconds. Like, no one Jesus. And I appreciate the little chat we had. It's pretty hard to find someone in New Zealand who streams stuff like this. I'll catch you on another stream. I'm off to lecture. Look forward to joining more streaming covers. I'll message you on Discord later too. Hey man, it was good to have you around. I hope your lecture goes well. I'm not in New Zealand, but it's cool if you're in New Zealand. It's always cool to meet fucking people from that region, because I love you guys. I love you guys so fucking much. It's the coolest people. But yeah, man, have fun in lecture, and dude, like, genuinely, have a fucking good time. Hopefully it's not too stressful or anything. But yeah, Taniyama just pisses me off. It is genuinely the only character in this show, I think, that just overall frustrates me. For not no reason. It's just I sit there and I'm like, why are you so obsessed with these siblings, man? Like, I get it. They beat you in middle school, and like, Alya and Kuze coming together gave you some hope, but dude, like, this is not that serious. This is not that deep. You do not have to be this stringent on this shit, man. Like, go do something else, man. Go do something else. Piss me the fuck off. Yeah, I know. That's why I had to come to this side of Twitch. Yep. I get that. I completely understand that, man. But yeah, I hope you have a good day, man. Enjoy yourself, seriously. But yeah, we're at the end of it. I guess Taniyama, her friend Alya, and Kuze have some plan for the closing ceremony. I assume either next episode is either going to be the closing ceremony, or it's going to be them. We're going to get like that plan for the closing ceremony and see what they're going to do. So it seems like we are definitely getting like the end of the what I would call the presidential election arc, somewhat. But yeah, like I've said it before time and time again, Alya keeps being impressive. Alya keeps being good. Alya keeps being entertaining. And I love this show so much because it is good. It is so goddamn finger-licking good. Like, goddamn, man. This might be a top 10 romance for me. This might be because it is just genuinely so enjoyable to watch every episode of this. It's great. It's good. Alya is good. It builds on so much with the characters and so much in the story, and it drip feeds you enough in an appropriate level to respect your time, but never enough to just think that you're dumb and you need to be walked on. I love it. Everything is good about the show. It's so good and I love it. Yeah, this one is getting, I don't know if I give it a 9 out of 10. But I never get an 8 out of 10 because it was definitely a good episode. I definitely enjoyed myself. I definitely had moments where it's just like, oh my god, what the fuck? Yeah. So yeah, Alya is definitely up there. 8 out of 10 episode. Great entertaining episode. I am happy with everything about it.